So in this video, we will explore the most common Sova mistakes and how to avoid them. Join us as we delve into the world of Sova and unlock his true potential. My name is Slayer Key, an Immortal 3 Sova main who's logged countless hours, and coach who's seen where every Sova player goes wrong. So without any further delay, let's get right into it. First up is Sova's Owl Drone. This can be used to scout and tag enemies and provide information for the team. The first thing a lot of players don't know is that you can actually build up momentum before throwing your drone. If you jump and throw your drone, it gives it extra height, and if you run before throwing, it'll give it extra speed. Another similar thing is that you can use the surface below the drone to lift it up and get better angles for clearing. When using your drone, it's important to remember that the reticle is different from your regular aim, so it's important to learn how to track it. Another nifty thing is the energy bar. This allows you to see how long before you're ready to shoot another dart. It's a really good idea to combine your drone with your ult to take out marked targets. On maps like Icebox, you should practice controlling your drone when looking down to cover more space. This allows you to take on more angles and cover more area, providing more information to the team. I also often see Sovas forget to communicate with the team when using their drone. Let your team know what you're clearing, what you see, what you plan to drone. I have drone. Drone in. Default, aim in.
Blinded off site. You know on site.
Scanning ahead.
Beautiful, man. God, you played that so well.
This helps them know what areas are clear and what areas to prioritize. Lastly, when you're droning through the smoke, you want to keep your drone low to the ground. This is because enemies tend to pre-fire in the middle or above. Remember these tips and you'll be pro with your drone in no time. Next up is Sova's Shock Dart. This is an explosive arrow that deals damage and breaks utility. First thing is I would recommend learning geometry maps and practice bouncing shock darts off walls to common spots like default plants. I'd make sure you remember when versing killjoys or ciphers that you can break the enemy traps with your shock darts. I wouldn't ever try to shock dart someone who gets stuck in a corner unless you're behind cover. This is because enemies will often swing and will just kill you with their shock dart out. You can also use shock darts at the start of every round and tight pathways to create early pressure and damage if the enemy team pushes in. I'd also recommend learning how to jiggle peek with your shock dart to not overexpose yourself. A lot of times Sovas get stuck on the open with their shock darts and it causes them to get mowed down. Up next we got Sova's Recon Bolt. This allows him to reveal enemies' positions and gather intel for the team. The number one rule I have for Sova's Recon is to shoot it high, above, behind, and fast. If you match all four of these qualities, your Recon is most likely to get a lot of intel. One of the best examples of this is to shoot it above a gateway when enemies are entering into a site. It's also really important that Sovas know what areas the recon bolt clears and what areas doesn't. This is similar to the drone where you need to know what's clear so you can more comfortably push the space. If you don't know what your recon clears and you re-clear the same spot it already did, you're immediately losing value from that recon. I'd also recommend learning only a few recon bolt lineups for common areas. If you watch a lot of really good players, you'll notice that they actually have very minimal lineups. This is because the lineups are really hard to actually get the timing down right, especially for new players, and usually just overcomplicates what the recon is trying to accomplish. Lastly is his ultimate, the Hunter's Fury. This allows him to fire 3 deadly blasts that pass through walls and eliminate enemies from long range. This is a super strong ult, but I see so many Sovas, even Immortals, get this wrong. When you're using this ability, you want to place it so that the targets are at the tip of the ultimate on the minimap. This makes them smaller targets to shoot at so they can't move as much, and also covers the most area. When you use a drone or dart along with the ult, it's really recommended that you read your enemy's movement before firing your ultimate. You have a lot more time to shoot all of these 3 shots, and you can even have a slight delay after each shot to catch them off guard.
Don't forget that you can cancel your ultimate with the X key if you think someone is pushing you or to bait the enemy.
Every time you ult, I would suggest throwing down pings on the map to get the proper elevation and make sure you're shooting straight. You want to aim the reticle right above the pane. A lot of Sovas don't do this and their ult just ends up going straight in the ground. The best places to use your ultimate are going to be in default or long areas like B main from A on ascent. A little nifty trick is you can creep up ults if you aim from below to above. This can be a good way to surprise your enemies. For efficiency, you want to line up multiple points on the map and put enemies near the tip of your ult, which is about 65 meters. This is because the farther away the targets are, the smaller they are, so the less they'll move on their screen, making them easier to hit. Don't immediately play your ultimate for a retake. Wait and strategically use it to maximize its effectiveness. For example, waiting for a spike tap. Lastly, I'd really suggest you use the minimap when using the ult. A lot of times your teammates push in as you're ulting and they get intel you wouldn't have had either way. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new about Sova today. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And don't forget to check out our Discord community where you can find me and a supportive community dedicated to improving. Best of luck out there.